Hello, welcome back for another episode of Betting on Golf with RJ McCullough. As you can probably surmise, there was a big snowstorm in Toronto today, so hence the toque. But moving on, this week's event is the Honda Classic. Traditionally, this is one of the bigger events on tour, but with the crunch of the schedule, the way it's changed for 2019, it's sort of fallen a bit on to the wayside. That's okay. We've still got a pretty good field, and the headliner, as always with this event, is the course, PGA National, which is best known for the Bear Trap, which is 15, 16, and 17. There are three of the hardest holes in all-up golf. I got some numbers on them. Let's see here. So 15 is a par 3 and 17 is a par 3. They're both under 200 yards. 16 is a par 4 that's under 450. So it's not like we have long holes that we're dealing with, but there's usually pretty high winds. There's a lot of water surrounding all these holes. So, all right, here we go. In 12 years at PGA National, that three-hole stretch has played a combined 3,571 shots over par, and all three holes ranked in the PGA Tour's top 10 hardest holes last season, which is pretty daunting for anyone, especially as you're trying to close out a tournament. But the one positive players have going for them is luckily the finishing hole is a par 5 that's relatively gettable. So it makes for quite a good spectating thing every year, and especially on Sunday when you've got guys just trying to hold on to whatever lead they have or trying to somehow make a push on the last few holes. But the 15 through 17 is so hard, and then you get 18, which you can capitalize on. So it makes for a really, really good event. Always fun to watch. And the field, like I said, it's not as good as usual, but it's still pretty good. A lot of players live within like 45 minutes or so of PGA National, so it's sort of a homecoming event for a lot of them. The top players in the field, name-wise, are Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Adam Scott, Brooks Koepka, Sergio, and Gary Woodland. You can check out the full tee times or full field on my blog, teeingoffblog.com. As for the winning score, I said this course is very, very hard. I believe it was the second hardest course on tour last year, and that's including majors. It was second only to Shinnecock. So the winning score, as you can imagine, doesn't usually get below 10, like into double digits. It's usually not below 10 under par. Last year it was 8 under par. Justin Thomas defeated Luke List in the playoff, and the year before was 12 under Adam Scott. But that's the only time since 2012 that there's been a winning score in the double digits. All right, so let's get to handicapping the field. That's what we're all here for. My top 5, all right? Number 5, Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland's odds this week, 18-1. His recent form, 17th, 7th, and 9th, which ranks 6th in the field for recent form. His tournament history here, 49th, 2nd, and 61st. In the stats rankings, he's 16th, and in the simulator, he ranks 9th. Number 4, Ricky Fowler. Ricky has 11-1 odds to win this week. His recent form, 36th. He had the win, of course, and 66th. Tournament history, he won the last time he played here. He has a 6th before that, 41st and 24th. That tournament history ranks 3rd. Stats rank, 32nd. Sim rank, 2nd. Sergio Garcia, 16-1 odds. He's number 3 this week. His recent form, 6th and 37th. Tournament history, 33rd, 14th, 2nd, 31st, and 8th. That tournament history ranks 2nd here. Stats rank of 13th for Serge and 12th in the simulator rank. Sergio is a guy that I'm not the biggest fan of as a person. Of course, some of the stuff he's done recently has brought that to light. But, hey, got to go with the spreadsheet. Number 2 is Adam Scott. He is at 14-1 in the odds. Recent form is 7th, 60th, and 2nd. That's 2nd in the field. His tournament history here, 13th, 14th, 1st, and 12th. So he also has a win. That ranks 1st overall in terms of tournament history. Ranking, his stats rank is 21st, and his sim rank is 7th. So that brings us to number 1 on my list this week. No surprise, he's been there for the last couple weeks. Justin Thomas. His odds are really low at 5-1. His recent form is 9th, 2nd, and 3rd. That is 1st overall in terms of recent form. His tournament history, 1st, he won last year. Miscut the year before that. 3rd the year before that. And a miscut the year before that. So let's hope that good finish, miscut, good finish, miscut streak ends and he can get back-to-back good finishes. One of his goals is to repeat win this year. So hopefully he can get that done this week. His stats, he ranks second in the field, and simulator ranking is first. So all around, just great numbers for Justin Thomas. Obvious with those odds, you're going to have to put down some good money to make some money and hope he actually wins. But that's my top 5. Gary Woodland, Ricky Fowler, Sergio Garcia, Adam Scott, and Justin Thomas. Some matchups that I like this week. I like Ricky Fowler to defeat Brooks Koepka. The odds on that are minus 120 for Fowler. I also like Russell Knox to defeat Alex Noren. The odds are minus 105. And finally, I like Chris Stroud to defeat Kyle Stanley, and that's plus 100. Guys that I feel have value, not necessarily to win, but take them top 5, top 10, top 20, whatever you can get them at. Russell Knox, he's 60 to 1 to win, but I have him as 7th on my list of overall favorites. Jim Furyk comes in 110 to 1 to win, but he's 16th on my list, made a big jump. And Trey Mullinax is 90 to 1 to win, but sits at 18th on my list. On the other end of the spectrum, guys that you should try to avoid, guys that have dropped from originally in the top 25 to they now dropped below 50th in my rankings. So those guys would be Brooks Koepka. He's the big name. Hoping that I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth with that one like last week, but he didn't perform well last week, so it worked out. Alex Noren, Emiliano Grillo, and Kiridech Affibarnrat. That's a name for you. And yeah, so last week we had another second, which, I mean, these seconds are really racking up. It's getting a little ridiculous. It wasn't as annoying as the week before because Rory didn't really have much of a chance to catch DJ. DJ ran away with that thing, so we'll take it. Last week, yes, we had a second, a 9th, a 14th, a 19th, and a 44th. So that's 2 more top 10s to add to the list. Matchups, we were 2-1. And that brings our year-to-date total. My top 5 picks, we have 2 wins, 3 second places, and 2 thirds. So 7 out of the 8 weeks, we've had a top 3. And we're 22 of 40 in picks finishing in the top 10. So doing pretty well, but we're due for another winner. And in the matchups, 15, 6, and 2. So hopefully you're putting those down because that is where you're going to make your money. Be sure to check out teeingoffblog.com for the full spreadsheet, full layout of everything they have to know for the tournament. Also check out my YouTube page for the video. That's RJ McCullough. My podcast, Teeing Off. Just released an episode a couple days ago. Have some good stories on there. Instagram, also Teeing Off Blog, and on Twitter at RJ McCullough. Thanks for joining me once again. And I should be here to talk to you next week. I'm going to Florida, so I may not be able to make a video, but I'll do my best. I'll talk to you then.